What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode with AB Investments. And hopefully, you had a great weekend and you're enjoying the games. I'm going to go watch the Bengals game in a bit. So, who day? Not a Pittsburgh Steelers hat. It's a Lakers hat. Anyways, with that being said, go LA. um, I've seen somebody yesterday that said, I don't know why he's always smiling. Is he taking joy in this news and all that stuff? Um, well, I've answered you in the message, and I'm also gonna answer you on live. I'm always smiling. It's life is much bigger than investments or anything. So um, you have no idea. I in my own life, as we all have problems. When I'm faced with a lot more bad news than this stock stuff and even more tragic things, I still smile. So at the end of the day, being upset or angry or dim or grin is not going to change the fact. In fact, the sooner you smile, the sooner you could possibly come up with a solution. So much love. I want to also give a shout out to all the people that showed so much love in the past few days, especially on the videos. Brother Frankie Muhammad, man, assalamu alaikum to you, brother. Much love to you. Thank you for constantly being a straight up stand up guy um, and being the same. Like I can tell that obviously your intentions are not impure. Um, so much love to you, brother. And then at the same time, I want to say I'm actually somewhat let down by the fact that not all shills that are coming out to say the craziest things are necessarily bots. From what I've been seeing, there's been a few that just specifically crawl out of a roach nest. Um, and that roach nest has been an issue, and unfortunately, it's also representing the community of and the movement of this AMC movement, this beautiful movement. And it's unfortunate that we have such radical mindsets and cult like idiocy. Um, People who claim to be obviously Americans but don't understand the first thing of being an American is everybody has the right to voice their opinion. But these idiots and these roaches out there, they only understand how to um, go ahead and accuse people, throw accusations, and they send all their roaches out after throwing stupid accusations, looking stupid, doing whatever just to make it, just to become popular. It's very obvious, and you know what I'm talking about. You'll do whatever for the dollar, and people like you. Trust me, we all know. Like we all have met many of those, and they come and go just like the roaches before them. Anywho, this is not the reason of the whole video. Now we're gonna continue with the AB basically opinion on the whole matter. Now, once we looked, when we broke down what we saw, I want to give out now because we're gonna be constantly get caught between the yes and the no and the yes and the no. And as a non-financial advisor, I can't tell anybody yes or I can't tell anybody like to say no. As much as I want to voice it out, I voice my opinion. But what you should do and how you do it and what I can't tell you. In fact, more so, the numbers that you are the best numbers for each person to sell at are only best determined by the individual themselves. Everybody is different, has a different situation in life, a different standing, a different amount of shares, a position, all that stuff. But here's the one thing that I would like everybody to at least agree on is the fact that we all care about this AMC movement and we all care about this thing. I've said from the get-go, I'm not only just an AMC. I have a bunch of meme stock positions and I have a huge position in GME. And I've always said, and I was in big time favor. I did a huge video if you go back in the archives and see why I was in such a big favor of the forward stock split that GME did. And I broke a video down on it. When things are done correctly, you gotta give it props. When things are done wrong, you gotta call it out. To the best, obviously, of your knowledge, I'm never gonna go and bombard anybody if their intentions are pure and then start, accusing and create FUD and all that kind of stuff in an effort of kind of like a deep state mindset. Try to smear people's names and reputations with all the stupidity of just ramble talk, and Hopiism, the spread of Hopiism and all that crap. Go look. I have some questions for all of you out there. Go look. Why did AMC surge with GME and Nokia and all these other stocks? Why did they surge in the beginning of 2021, in January 2021? Of course, AMC was halted. Of course, it was halted in the 20s. But why did it surge? And its financials were a lot more terrible than what they are even now. We just reopened directly right after the pandemic, after being shut with a lot more debt and no sales whatsoever. Yet, we squoze in January 2021 and the buy button was taken out. Where was the fundamentals for that? The people, see, here's the thing. The problem is there are people with pure intentions and there are people with obviously terrible intentions. And their agendas is completely different. The ones with the pure intentions, if they don't know, you can tell. And it's no problem, because at the end of the day, they're speaking because they care, even if they're on an opposition of whatever the right thing is. Thing is, when the opposite side made this play so unfundamentally played, not just for AMC, for an entire stock market, when they did all that, they now expect you, like the people who are spreading this yes crap and all this stuff, they want you to follow fundamentals in a war that's unfundamental. And I'm not saying go become also unfundamental, because our options are obviously pretty limited. But going along with where going along to where the what do you guys call the the shepherd dog leads you to, that obviously makes you cattle or sheep. This is where they want you to go. It's not, it's extremely clear. Look at even inside. Look at insiders in AMC. Look at all those big board members. Look at their holdings in the common shares in AMC, and look what they hold and versus what they hold in Ape. This is how you make money for them. And again, I'm not against any man or woman or anybody making their own money for their loved ones, by all means of however way they do it. But right now, those people are in a different basket than us. And they clearly make that very clear, because the hodling comes back to us. If AB was to sell tomorrow, all the community will say paper hand. If Sheen Goodman sells, as always, keeps selling, then hey, they got 4D chess going. They need to play. It's either shills or hypocrisy like no other, or either people who are not even invested but they want to become part of the game, but they just act like they're AMC investors. I told everybody before, I don't like this thing. In my humble opinion, will make its run regardless. We determine what kind of run we get. With the yes, in my opinion, you're gonna get your multiple runs and multiple dumps. In the same time, you're not gonna, and hopefully I'm wrong on this, you're not gonna get no MOASS. And if that's the case, either way, I'm good. If no, then I'm even more excited and more happy, because the movement still stands and nothing changed. And the power is still with the players. But as soon as it goes back to them, then it's obviously a completely different mechanism. Answer those questions. What's up? Why did AMC? How come AMC squoze in January 2021? What was the fundamental reason? Oh, they were over leveraged and they almost got margins for what? For what? AMC was fundamentally and depth-wise so much screwed. So much more. Back then, in January of 2021. Don't even get me started on 2021, on June 2021. But we'll stick with January. What was all of you? Keep the same energy. All you YouTube FUD pushers out there, back then your message was completely different. Oh, look, they kept selling and buying and over leveraged and over shorted something, and now they got over leveraged. That's what fundamentals should be like. Now that there is no fundamentals, it's like getting into a fight in a ring with someone who basically would throw the kitchen sink at you, will use a brass knuckle, do all that stuff on you, and you're still gotta go with the same rules. All the rules apply to you, but to them, it doesn't. You continue to go and do your thing, and on top of that, you got the Rocky Balboa story. Even though that your opponent is cheating, we still somehow winning because we were and we are. Now that they still don't like that, now they want to change the whole thing, the whole fight, and basically say, okay. No. We're going to have to amputate your arm. We're going to have to amputate your leg. We have to amputate the other leg. We have to amputate your other arm. Get it? Reverse stock conversion. And then we put you back into the fight. And we still give the kitchen sink and the brass knuckles to the other guy. I will do what's best for me and my family. I will do what's best for the community. However, no one will come and wipe somebody's tears off or pay down their debt when they're in ruins. So what basically you choose for you and your family. AB is not here to blah, 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 do whatever anybody else is doing. Many out there have different agendas because, again, the questions are out there. Like I told you, what is the fundamental, since it's all about fundamentals, what is the fundamental reason behind the January 2021 run-up? GME crashed up to the 400s, but the rest was halted and suspended from the higher-ups too. And the buy buttons were taken out, and only the sell buttons were given out. There's no fundamental for that. The point that I'm making ultimately before I finish this video is that when there is fundamentals and all the rules are being applied and played with, then it's so much easier to go ahead and do anything and say anything because you know what it measures up against. There's a measuring system. But when none of that applies, again, use your common sense. That's just as simple as that. Why would the market maker, the brokers, have so many assets sold but never delivered to you but never purchased? Why over 65 billion? Why? Because that's the missing piece to making sure that the price of every security that is now doing a reverse stock split and on the verge of bankruptcy would not even be having or be forced to be doing this. And one more thing about Adam Aron. You guys say that he made a couple mistakes and you try to dilute the mistakes, the pedigree of the mistakes that he did. The number one mistake that will not be forgiven or forgotten by me is simply, how could you issue something with voting rights that you knew very well, obviously when you said it has voting rights and all that stuff, and the purpose of it, you specifically said yourself that the purpose of it was to go ahead and aid AMC pay down its debt, and the retail said, go for it. You're the silverback. You're our silverback. Go for it. Dilute us. This gets derived from our AMC common investment value, which is one of the reasons of why AMC dropped in value and price-wise. And you wait from when it was in the tens and whatever, and then you wait and then you sell it at such a high percentage at 66 cents. That's not a mistake. You guys try to dilute the pedigree of that mistake. That's not a mistake. It's not a small mistake. That's a knockout punch. That's a way to end the fight. You just sold over 23% to an anti-group that clearly does not give two shits about the stock itself. And their actions show in all their sales and buys and all that stuff. And after we do a conversion and a reverse stock split, who do you think will have the ability to do any takeovers or anything over the company? If AMC continues to dilute at 50 or 60 or 70, 25 million here, 25 million there, 25 million here, 25 million there, how many more floats will be diluted? How many more? You talking about cost to borrow and short interest? What is what is the idea here with people? Like, do you just live in Ortex land? Like, the cost to borrow it's not even like the fact that you would think it would be very tough to get when there's plenty of shares everywhere to get and borrow. The short interest drops, and then retail loses all their pedigree. The number one power, your number one thing was being in control, and that's gonna be given away if obviously the CS goes through. And better yet, if they don't get enough votes, they have the right in this file that they have in this proxy. They have the right to solicit multiple times to continue to go on until they get their yes vote. If they truly care about what the retail has to say or what their voters have to say, then they'll just go with what the vote says, the majority. That's it. Again, whether yes or no, I didn't get into the stock market in 2020. I didn't start in 2021, January and June, like many of these other YouTubers here, and many past the June. So they're the June graduates. In the same time, I've always said I'm a day trader regardless. So I day trade. If I've invested all the money I've invested in AMC and hold it down with AMC in my day trading strategies and with my operations, I would have made way more than what the MOAS would ever make me. 100%, like 100,000% clear, like on that. And there is many that also have seen proofs to it and knows what's up. So again, I think this is going to be my last video making on this stupid reverse stock split and all that stuff. It's not worth getting all these idiots and morons that are coming and say this and AB, you freaking got paid and whatnot, especially people that I knew from the past too. Like, listen, people, if there's no, people say, if they're okay, you want to know what is the solution? Well, there's many. And in fact, the first starts with the CEO himself. Prove your worth. Either way, hopefully you love this video. Sorry it was much longer. I had to wrap it up for that. We'll continue. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a live and we'll have just live answering the questions and all that stuff. If not tomorrow, maybe sometime next week. Go Bengals, Who Dey, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Much love, AB Investments.